What is up, guys? Welcome back to the channel. I originally wasn't planning on uploading the rest of this week, but I convinced myself to do otherwise. I've been planning on taking a little break from YouTube just because I've been feeling a little unmotivated recently, and it's all on my end. It's nothing other than just me not feeling motivated lately with YouTube, but I've been, I was debating taking a break this week, the rest of this week, doing a stream this weekend possibly, just trying to take a breather and focus on school and other stuff like that. But at the end of the day, I've done this for 5.5 years now, more than 5.5, more like 5 3/4. And I'm closing in on my 6th year on YouTube, and I feel like that, I have made it such a routine that even if I took a break, I would regret it and want to come back doing videos. Like, I probably wouldn't even make it through the rest of the week without recording. So, yeah, no breaks. But today's video is going to be kind of just more filler content, and that's probably been the issue with my motivation. Is I hate doing filler content, but it's all I've been able to do because of the fact that COVID's still going on. I haven't been able to invest the money I would normally have into the truck, and that's kind of that. And plus, there really isn't much to do anymore with the truck. It's kind of at that point now, where most car builds get to after gosh dang, almost 5 years. With that, it's becoming it's becoming close to its end in terms of what I can do to push the boundaries, and that's what this video is about. Is when will the Sport Trac be considered complete? And let's get right into some of those topics. So in terms of performance, I had originally planned to make a record push at 500 horsepower. So one of my most popular videos to draw criticism from for me is I had originally intended to make a 500 horsepower engine. Now the issue is, the 4.0 is not only incapable of making 500 due to its design and its nature, but it costs, $10,000 plus dollars to try to make a high horsepower 4.0. It's why people do Fibo swaps in the Sport Trac. Is they want to make a Sport Trac decently fast, they'll do the 5.0 swap because it's a lot more capable of an engine than the 4.0 is. And that was my original intention, was just to push it to the max and just see what happens and try to make it reliable. The problem is I can't really have both with the 4.0. When you boost an engine and push it to its absolute limit, like it would be if we were trying to push 500 down out of a 4.0, it'll reach its limit and it will break a lot. And that's the issue at hand, is that the 4.0, while it is a pretty solid engine in terms of reliability, in terms of how the bottom end is designed, it's got forged rods and an iron block. So I mean, it's a very strong bottom end. The issue at hand is the fact that the rest of the engine can't handle high horsepower, and if I try pushing 500 out of a 4.0, it's probably going to break a lot and cost me a fortune, and I won't enjoy it very much. I'll get to drive it once every couple of weeks, but then it breaks. I don't have a car to get to school or do work or whatever. How am I supposed to do YouTube with a car that's broken all the time? So that's why I'm pretty certain that once the retune is done and the AM intake is back on, that'll be it for performance. Unless I throw 410s and a limited slip in it, which I'm still debating on doing anyway. There really isn't anything else I can do outside of building an engine on the side, building it for big power, and doing all the $10,000 plus upgrades to start pushing high power. And I'm not sure if I'm willing to do that without with it being my only car and being my daily driver. And at the end of the day, sure, I could push for a very formidable 330 horsepower, I believe is what Modbox rates their kit at 9.5 pounds of boost, which is still pushing a pretty good line for the 4.0, because the 4.0 out of the box can't even handle 10 pounds of boost without blowing the heads off of it because the head studs are so weak. So it's a lot really to decide on, and plus my engine's just not capable. Mine in particular is 250,000 miles almost. So boosting a 250,000 mile engine is just asking for an explosion, and that's why I've made it pretty clear that I probably won't boost it, because that would involve the cost of building an engine, the cost of installing an engine on top of all the performance mods we'd be adding on, like a blower or turbo setup. And that's why I've pretty much decided I will not be doing any sort of forced induction unless I just magically become either insane or rich. Really, I need to be both to do that. So the truck will probably stay full bolt on once it's finished, and it will probably be completely max effort NA. That way it's still reliable, it's still dependable. I can still drive it back and forth to school and not have to be like, oh crap, is it going to start today, or is it going to blow up on the way home? Am I going to window this block from pushing too much power? And that's kind of that. If I want to go fast, I just need to either get a project car or eventually replace the truck with something that can handle power the way that I want. And that's kind of that. I think performance-wise, it's done. I mean, there's not really much I can do outside of the last thing I can think of is limited slip diff, maybe a built trans, just because the 5R is made out of glass. That's really all I can think of. There's really not much more I can do in terms of power. Of course, I do want to upgrade the brakes because the brakes, sport track brakes in general, are not really known for being, the greatest. They're no Charger Scat Pack 6-piston Brembos or anything. They're just there, and I think it'd probably be smart to upgrade the brakes. There's some EBC rotors and pads on it. Michael swears by EBC, so that'd probably be a good brand to go with. But that's really that I can think of in terms of overall performance, whether it be handling, stopping, or going. The retune and the brakes, that's really all I can think of really to do outside of overhauling the suspension, replacing parts that are worn out because it has a lot of creaks and a lot of pops and stuff like that that need to be fixed. That's really where most of my focus is going to go on with the truck from here, is a lot of fixing a lot of 250,000 mile quirks, and just doing my best to try to perfect it and make it better, more reliable, and fix all its problems. Of course, modernization upgrades will still continue. We've done a lot of modernizations as it is. We've done the electric radiator fan conversion. We've done the headlight retrofit, which gave it LED lights. We've got CarPlay, a backup camera, leather bucket seats. We've got, gosh, I could go on all day, but all the modernization upgrades we've added to it, which is what I'm mostly into, is modernization. I love modernizing old cars, and that was something that I really want to do with the truck. And there's not really much more I can do from there. I think there's like a set of incandescent bulbs left in the truck, and that is the front corner lights. So if I can get those replaced, it'll be a full LED system on the entirety of the truck. And Diode Dynamics actually sell switchbacks for that, which will be kind of cool to go along with the halos. So I may pick those up eventually and get the load resistors done, so I won't have the hyper flash anymore, because it's had a hyper flash since I put the LED bulbs in the back. But cosmetically, of course, we still have the wrap to do, which is a huge thing that I still plan on doing. I've literally got it. I'm kind of brave having my door open right here because it is literally right inside my closet is the roll of vinyl, and I've been intending to eventually reveal it because I'm quite frankly tired of waiting to reveal the wrap at this point. It's just a lot has been going on. Michael's not really comfortable doing the wrap in this climate because it's getting colder in Georgia. We still have body work to do in the truck. The truck is not ready at all. We've gotten the badges off and all that stuff, but we haven't done all the sanding and priming and Bondo work that it needs to get ready to be wrapped. And that is on the radar. That's really what's holding us back. Once I can get that done, and me and Michael can figure out some sort of way to work around the weather, I've offered to let him use a heater in the garage. Hayden's offered to loan him a torpedo heater to heat his garage up, and we can lay the vinyl then. But Michael hasn't really budged, so we'll have to wait and see how he feels whenever the time comes. But yeah, that's kind of that on the cosmetic side. Outside of, I've been thinking about getting new wheels. The motives I love, but I'm ready to kind of change things up and get better fitment on the back because, quite frankly, they don't make big enough spacers for it. I've looked for 40 mil spacers because that's what it about needs. Most rear fitments on these trucks are between like the positive 15 and 0 offset kind of range. To get flush fitment on the rear, so that's kind of what I'm looking for, or just a wheel that is a little bit better of an offset, so I don't have to run as big of a spacer. I can actually run spacers I can actually find. I've had my eyes on a bunch of like import style wheels. You guys know at the end of the day I'm an import guy. I just happen to own a Ford truck, and I've been looking at Roto Grids, which are TE37 clones, as well as NK RPF1s, which are it's not stuff you typically see on pickups, but the RPF1's my favorite wheel. And those actually come in the correct offsets. The Roto Grids do not. And the reason I would buy TE reps is because I can't afford actual TEs. I don't know if anyone's ever seen the prices of actually TE37s. They are extremely expensive, like $3,500 for the set, not including tires. So I was like, I'd rather buy reps than spend 35 grand, or not 35 grand, gosh, that'd be expensive, but $3,500 on wheels. As far as that goes, they're really like the only thing I can think of, really. And that's not even a guarantee, because I do love my motives. They look great, and it's kind of, my style. But I have debated on getting new wheels eventually. And then, of course, like I said, just kind of perfecting all the issues is just, that really is when the mods will be complete, is when all of that stuff is met. The wrap, the getting the retune, getting the last little bit of modernization work done, and stuff like that. And then that'll kind of be it. I mean, there's not really much more I can do with the truck at that point. And that's what sucks, is that I'll make content very much like what's going on right now, but more permanent. And I hate that because I'm not able to, my channel is just now getting big, and I've had this build going on for almost 5 years now, and it's kind of crazy. It's unfortunately timed, I guess, because it's like the channel's just now growing and I'm running out of stuff to do. So really that's all, is just working on fixing the last couple of things left to do, getting the truck kind of perfected, and then either deciding to get a project car that'll be my power build, or work mostly on just maybe, I don't know, if I get insane and get a large sum of money, build the truck, which I'm not entirely sure I want to do, because again, it'll be my only car and I can't really afford to have it blow up at 500 wheel if it can get there in the first place. But that's kind of that for now. When will the truck be considered complete? That's really it. It's just getting those last couple of mods in, getting the retune and the intake on it, getting the new the wrap done and everything like that. It's really it. But it sucks because again, it's my channel is just now getting big and the build's almost finished. So I'm not sure what I can do about that, but that'll kind of do it for now, guys. I hope you all enjoyed this video. I know it wasn't the greatest and it's filler content, but I promised you guys I'd upload all 3 days a week. Eventually I have been debating on cutting things down to 2 videos a week, so I'm not entirely sure on that. But it'll give me more time to make better videos and hopefully make more less filler content, I guess. But anyway, guys, hope you all enjoyed. I will see you guys on Friday with a brand new upload. Take care, guys. Have a great day.